Hey, and welcome back to another Take 5. I'm going to talk a little bit more about variables in this video. I went over um, the basics of the variables here, these variables, in one of the earlier videos, and I just wanted to go over a little bit more detail about this panel over here. When you click on a variable, it gives you a panel, and this is basically information about the variable and things that you can do. Um, Basically, this is the name of the variable here, the type of variable it is, which you can set just like you can over here on the left. Um, Things like is this variable blueprint read only? Things like that are good for if you have an artist and you're programming and you don't want them to change values. They can't change them. They can read them, but they can't change them. You can do things like adding tooltips to show up when you hover over the variables. Um, you can expose them to spawn. So if you want them to be spawning, if you want them to show and be exposed when you're attaching it to, or sorry, when you're actually spawning an actor, it will show up on that spawn function that you would use to spawn an actor. Um, I haven't really showed you the spawn function, but basically it's kind of like one of these. It would show up as a little node, a little spot that you could plug something into, and it would set that reference. It gives you categories, so you could set the category if you wanted to make a category. You just type one in. You can make it private so that it's not modifiable by other classes. You can do things like for an integer, you can set slider ranges. For strings, you're going to be able to just basically do the basics. Um, and bools are going to have the true or false. Floats are going to be able to set their values kind of similar to integers. Vectors are going to have the three float values. Rotators are going to have the three float values. References are a little different. Things like materials. Materials have, you can grab a material from the engine. You could set the material if you had another material from another class and you wanted to set its material to the cube on here. You could do that. Um, you can do a lot of different things with that. Um, and textures are kind of the same way. You can set one from the engine, or if you say you had a texture that you were using on the cube or something, you could drag it out, get something, and set something on that. Or if you just wanted to pass this texture to another actor, maybe that actor has a texture variable and this one has the one you want it to be. So then you would pass this texture to that one, and then it could set the texture some texture using this texture in this class. Um, yeah, those are the basics of the rest of the variable stuff, and this basically this tab over here. It's generally just the place where you're going to find all the details for that specific variable. So just keep that in mind, and you guys will be good. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up and move on to the next one.